So this last little bit to conclude our packet is we are going to take a look at another trait. So instead of a coloration of a flower, we're going to look at the amount of hair on the back of your hand. So we're not talking about like the nice, like soft, almost see-through clear kind of hair. We're talking about like hairy hair on the back of your hands. So for us, this characteristic either is shown with the alleles little h, that is recessive, which means hairy hands. I'm sorry. Little h, which is recessive to show the lack of hair on your hands. Or you can have the dominant trait, which is two capital H's for hairy hands. So let's take a look here. We have two individuals. One of them is an individual that is heterozygous dominant. So what that means is hetero is different. The two alleles they have to code for this trait are different from each other. So if we take a look, we have a capital H and a little h. Yep, that's different. So that makes sense. That's heterozygous. For parent number 2, we can also say that they're heterozygous. They don't have the same type of letter for this trait. They have a big H and a little h. So all we're going to do is we're just going to fill in our Punnett square to figure out what probabilities we have for our offspring if these two individuals reproduced. So my red H, it's capital. We're going to write that down. My blue H is lowercase. And then for parent number 2, we're going to drag stuff over. So our green H is capital. Our little h is brown. So out of all these boxes, how many boxes have at least one capital H to dominate our conversation, to make this individual have the phenotype of hairy hands? We got 1, we got 2, we got 3. So we have 3 boxes with a capital H. So we're going to put 3. And then if we take a look, how many boxes have 2 little h's for the recessive trait of no hair on your hands? Well, we just got 1. So here we have 1. Awesome. So based off of that, do we have any boxes that have little h for hairless hands for this section? If we do, awesome. We're going to answer number 6. If we don't, that's okay. We're still going to answer number 6. And then this final one is up to you. It's your turn. So if we notice this final Punnett square, we have a heterozygous, which is, remember, 2 different alleles. But then we also have one parent who's homozygous dominant. So remember, for Latin, the word homo means same. So we have 2 of the same alleles, capital H, capital H. So your job is going to be filling out our last Punnett square and answering our question. So remember, capital H is the dominant trait. It's going to take over our conversation. So you're going to get hairy hands. So taking a look at these parents and their allele combos, is there any probability to get a child from these 2 individuals without hair on the back of their hands? That's going to be for number 8.